This vaccine news live from local experts. Join KCAU9's Tim Seaman and Sophie Erber now for coronavirus vaccination information.
And good evening. Thanks again for being with us for this KCAU9 Town Hall. It was almost a year ago that we had the first of these Town Hall sessions. Tonight marks our 9th.
That's right, officially. And over those many months, we wanted to know, of course, more about coronavirus and how it impacts Siouxlanders, and all of that has actually changed quite a bit. But our focus tonight is answering your questions all about the vaccinations and getting you the most up-to-date information.
And we want to introduce you to the folks that have taken time out of their evening to join us tonight and to bring you that information as we try to update you on questions that you may have and let these professionals who are, after all, right in the middle of this fight.
That's right. They are in the thick of this, and faces that if you watch us here on KCAU9 News, I'm sure that you recognize. They're the ones informing us about everything from where to get the vaccines to how to sign up, because that has been a pretty big question.
Tyler Brock is closest to me, and he is the Deputy Director at Siouxland District Health. Tyler, we appreciate you being with us once again. Tyler's been with us on several of these occasions.
That's right. You'll see him here often. We also have Dr. David Enns. He specializes in family medicine at Mercy One. Thank you for joining us today. That is in South Sioux City. Family medicine, and you've of course been involved in clinical trials as well for the coronavirus vaccination, something everyone's interested in because that's how we're getting so much statistical information. Thanks for joining us.
And also with us tonight is Liz Webb, a pharmacist at Drilling Pharmacy. And Liz, we appreciate your time tonight. Of course, Drilling Pharmacy is one of those retail locations that is now providing vaccinations to folks here in Siouxland, doing that good work.
That's right. And before we go any further, there's a reminder that we want to hear from you during this event, so please do let us know what questions you have about COVID-19, the vaccinations, or just the process. You could submit a question right now on our Facebook page. The address there is on your screen. That is facebook.com/KCAU9 News. We will try to have our experts answer as many questions as possible during this town hall event. You guys have your work cut out for you. Let's dive right into the numbers now. More than 768,000 people in the tri-state area are fully vaccinated. So that's some good news there. That includes 425,000 Iowans, 226,000 Nebraskans, and 117,000 South Dakotans. Now, those numbers do not include people who've only received one dose of the vaccine.
Tyler Brock probably has the best guess as you look at those numbers, if those are satisfactory or not. Lots of variables as we get started, but is that in the ballpark where we should be right now?
I would say it's pretty close to where we should be. I mean, all 3 states are operating with the amount of vaccine that they're given. And so given the amounts that we've had, I'd say that that's pretty good. We'd like it to be 100%
Sure.
by now, but that probably just wasn't a realistic factor. So everybody's doing the best they can with the amounts of vaccine they've got.
That's right. Now, a big question that we keep getting after getting vaccinated, so a lot of people have, as we just told you, do people need to still wear a mask? And if so, how long should they wait before even considering taking it off, going back to normal, so to speak? A big question we're getting. For any of you, really.
Doctor, we'll start with you on that one.
Yeah, CDC guidelines still say wear a mask after the vaccine. You know, you don't get the vaccine, next day you show up to work and say, hey, I'm mask free, obviously. They're starting to loosen some guidelines as far as if, you know, an entire family of high risk has been vaccinated, you can get into small groups and maybe take the masks off at that point. But for now, the public rules are still
And the science behind that, doctor, explain to our viewers too. We learned that the reason the CDC is saying keep the masks on, at least for now, is because it takes a couple weeks for the antibodies to build up. So explain your body's reaction to the vaccine.
Right. So a lot of questions we'll get is, you know, gosh, I've heard that you get a fever or headache after the vaccine. Well, yeah, of course you can do that. That's your body's immune system ramping up. As far as the vaccines go, the Moderna and Pfizer, there are 2 series vaccine. We're really looking at 1 to 2 weeks after that second vaccine for your total antibody levels to be high and protective.
Thank you.
While the vaccine rollout continues, a new variant of the coronavirus has cases on the rise. Join KCAU's Tim Seaman and Sophie Erber as they discuss with local experts the latest information on the coronavirus, vaccines, and variants.
And good evening again, and thanks for staying with us, being with us for this KCAU9 Town Hall, Coronavirus, Vaccines, and Variants. I'm Tim Seaman.
And I'm Sophie Erber. So as vaccinated Americans are asked to mask up once again now in recent weeks, some employers have started requiring vaccines. So is the Delta variant keeping the reversal to our return to normal on track?
And tonight, to answer those questions and others from us and you at home as well, a expert medical panel joins us this evening. We want to introduce you to those folks. You probably know them by face as they've joined us now for several of these town halls, and we certainly do appreciate their time. Tyler Brock is nearest to me. He is the Deputy Director of Siouxland District Health here in Sioux City.
That's right. We also have Dr. David Enns of Mercy One in South Sioux City. Thanks again for joining us, Doctor.
And Dr. Mike Kcau from Unity Point Health here in Sioux City. Again, we thank all of them for their time being with us tonight.
That's right. Now, before we go any further here, we do have a reminder. We actually want to hear from you still at home, so please do let us know any questions you might have as our conversation continues. Anything coronavirus is on the table. Submit your questions right on Facebook Messenger. You can go on facebook.com/KCAU9, the number news.
We're going to get started checking in with both of our doctors tonight. And young people, of course, are the focus in many ways right now. We've kind of come full circle. At the beginning of this, we're talking about seniors and elders and protecting those folks because of the situation. And now young folks especially being targeted. Earlier this year, Governor Reynolds signed legislation centering around COVID-19 that vaccine passports would not be allowed inside the state of Iowa. Healthcare experts, however, were exempt from that legislation. Both Mercy One and Unity Point have since issued a vaccine mandate inside their facilities, as many hospitals across the region also have done. Hundreds of schools, though, are still hanging in the balance as the classroom nears, as the school year is just around the corner. There's only one school in the state of Iowa that has implemented that vaccine mandate, I guess, for their incoming students. That's Grinnell College. I'm curious if that worries you. We have won't target necessarily our local high school right now, but on a broader plane, is it concerning? Does it bring concern to you, Dr. Enns?
It does a little bit. I mean, the Delta variant is obviously the prevalent variant. It's over 90% cases right now. It tends to be more transmissible. Schools are getting back in. Kids are going to be in close contact, and we're going to see what happens.
And Dr. Kcau, go ahead and jump in.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really concerned about what's going to happen with the school openings and not requiring some sort of mask or some sort of vaccine knowledge about who has been and who hasn't. I think there's reports that up to 20% of our cases that are showing up in the hospital and in the clinics are adolescents and children. So they are being affected by it at this point. As the age shifts downward in terms of the group that's being affected and coming down with COVID, it's a real serious concern, I think.
Echoing what you just said, Doctor, I believe yesterday the CDC announced that roughly 100,000 kids in a week time, nationwide, of course, have been infected. So, and not just something that we're seeing here in Siouxland, but seeing nationwide.
Due to a shortage in employees, businesses are cutting back on hours and services. Join Tim Seaman as he talks to experts about why this is and when they see it coming to an end. Who's minding the store? A KCAU9 town hall meeting starts now.
And good evening. Thanks for staying with us tonight. I'm Tim Seaman. Over the last 2 years, KCAU9 has hosted 15 town hall sessions focusing on everything from COVID concerns to mental health and cyber safety. Tonight we tackle another subject matter, the local job market. While a serious and sometimes overlooked side effect of the pandemic, the issue is more complex than that. Over the next 30 minutes, I'll be joined by 3 local experts to help explain the local job market and, in many cases, a worker shortage. Let me introduce you to who's joining us tonight, closest to me. And before I start, let me say thank you for taking time of your Wednesday to join us tonight, ladies. Closest to me is Andrea Mann. She's the operations manager here in Sioux City for Iowa Works. Of course, numbers come out of the Iowa Office offices on a monthly basis when we talk about unemployment, and so we want to talk to Andrea about that. Stacy Hayes from Morningside University is in the middle of our set. She's the Associate Vice President of Career and Employee Management at Morningside University. And rounding out our group today is Brandy Riddell. She's Human Resources Manager at Sabre Industries here in Sioux City. And Brandy, thanks to you as well. All of you, thanks for joining us here tonight. Before we go any further, we would like to remind folks at home that we hope to hear from you tonight. If you have questions that you'd like to try to get answered, we encourage you to get to us tonight so that our experts can tackle those questions. You can do it by going to Facebook Messenger. All you need to do is check facebook.com/KCAU9 News. And we'll, of course, try to get those questions answered, as many of them as we can, as we continue over the next half an hour. Let's get started, I guess, tonight briefly, just with each of you. I'll just throw this out to you. How would you describe the current job market here? And we're talking about Sioux City, but Siouxland in a whole, I guess, a little bit. But we'll just go around the horn real quick. Andrea, how would you sum that up right now, I guess?
Yeah, at Iowa Workforce Development, we know that more Iowans are coming back to work. But as of December 5th, there was over 80,000 jobs posted on ioworks.gov. So there are a lot of openings and not necessarily enough people to fill them.
It's been a bit of a routine in the last few months, that same scenario. Stacy?
So we've definitely seen a market increase in the amount of employers that are looking for both current students as well as recent or upcoming graduates. And we've actually seen an increase in employers asking us about alumni as well.
Go ahead.
Yeah, from Sabre Industries' perspective, as an employer, you know, I have to mirror what Andy said, and it's very competitive out there. You know, there's a lot more jobs than there are job seekers right now, and so it's been very competitive.
Which you would think would make it great for the job seeker. You know, there were days where it was hard to find that job, but we'll dive into that a little bit as we go.